Hi there. Today in this session, I will discuss about Java variables and data types. A variable is basically a memory location, which are reserved to store values, and those values needs to be used throughout the program execution. To indicate the storage area, each variable should be given a unique name, and with the help of that name, that value can be used throughout the program execution. Variable needs to be declared with a specific data type before use. As I said, data type. A variable can be declared using any specific data type, whether it is primitive or non-primitive. As I'm talking about local primitive data types, we have 8 specific primitive data types. Primitive data type is nothing but our type, which stores the values directly inside it and not the reference. We have 8 primitive data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, gap, or boolean. Byte, short, int, and long stores the integral values, non-floating, non-decimal values with a specific range. You can evaluate the range of the data to be stored into these types as per their memory location. If I say 1 byte, 2 short, 2 byte, integer 4 byte, and long 8 byte. Further, we have float double that stores the floating or decimal values. Char stores the character. Java is a Unicode-based programming language. That's what char stores to byte or a boolean that stores true and false or 0 or 1. The value stored can be changed during the program execution. Make sure your variable should not be declared with the const keyword. There are 3 types of variables. One is a local variable. Another is the instance variable, that means created at the class level. The third one is a non-instance, also known as class variables or static variable, that can be accessed with the name of the class. I will talk about instance variable or the class variables later. Today I will focus more on to the local variable. This is the syntax to declare the variables. First, to define the data type, what type of data you wanted to store, and then the variable name equals to the value that you want to store inside it. Separating by comma, you can declare more than one variable inside it. For example, I want to store any integer value, let's say age. I will say integer and then variable name or age. I is the variable name and data type is integer. It stores the integral value without decimal positions. Similarly, you can declare more than one variable inside a statement, within a statement. Or you can just declare the variables and assign the values later, or you can do the initialization means at the time of declaring the variable. You can also assign the value. This statement is known as initialization of a variable. Further, we have data types. When we say data types, as the name suggests, data type specifies the type of the data that can be stored inside the variables in Java. Each variable in Java has a specific type, which tells you the size of memory that needs to be assigned for that particular variable. As I said, we have primitive data types and non-primitive data types. The primitive data type are those data types that are predefined in the Java programming language. As I said, they are directly used to store values inside it, and there are totally primitive types. The size of the primitive data type does not change with changing the operating system because Java programming language is platform independent of all the operating system. I've already discussed what are the primitive data types: byte, short, integer, long, float, double, gap, or boolean. These are the size being allocated to the primitive types. As I said, byte, long, short, and integer are the number without floating decimals, and float and double are used to store the floating decimals also. Java is based upon Unicode standards or encoding. That's what the char contains: 2 byte. If you ever heard about the SI code, that is T programming, where the character is 1 byte. Then there is a boolean, 1 byte that stores true or false. True is 1 and false is 0. Declaring the primitive data type of variables with the primitive type always should begin with a lowercase letter. This table demonstrates you how to declare or initialize primitive data types, what are their memory size while declaring it with a specific type, and the range of the data that you can store inside it. You can go as per your requirement. Next that we have is the non-primitive data types. As I discussed, we have primitive and non-primitive. Non-primitive data types are the types that are not predefined always. You can also define as per your need. That's known as object-oriented classes. Not only object-oriented classes, we do have the predefined classes like strings arrays, and class that you can declare as per your requirement. We do have other classes like auth has a point class, date class and the util package that are deciding into the specific packages. Before using them into your program, you can definitely import and use it. Reference type does not have a specific size or byte range. Whatever data you stored inside it is per that, the memory gets allocated. This is one of the example given how you can declare. The string is basically non-primitive type, but the most common type looks like the primitive initialization. But internally, it is a reference type. I'm going to tell you what are the all non-primitive types we have and we can use it in our program. Stay tuned to learn how practically the variables and data types can be used in a Java program. See you in the next session. Until next time, stay tuned. Thank you.